not supposed to do.
Well, I know they're not supposed to do that, but it's, unless people are telling her they really are, so I don't know.
Think so? All right, 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
Please enter your participant or moderator code followed by the pound key. Please say your name followed by the pound key. You are the first participant in the conference.
Consider for approval minutes and agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Derby, seconded by Jennifer to approve the minutes and agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Scott Minders. Scott's number is
30.
Hey, Scott, we're ready for you. Thank you.
Did you guys get the letter from Grassley last night on the infrastructure bill?
Oh, yeah.
Just curious how that affects us. I was thinking, oh, all these $1 billion, but it's going to be into the big projects because they're splitting it out. Anything under 100 million is one category. Anything over 100 million is another category. You can do it over several years. And I look down lower, there's a one called routes, rural opportunity, something transportation.
My guess would be that one's a lot less.
That's a separate program, I think.
Well, is there anything else we can hit quick?
Transfers.
Good morning.
Expecting anybody?
Stack them all up so nobody
Yeah, we
can
thought
sit in
maybe
them.
we had the chairs and they show up.
I'm just gonna come out here in the middle where I can see everything.
Morning, Scott.
Morning.
I'm ready for you whenever you're ready.
Sure. Today we've gotten started mowing shoulders on blacktops. Everybody likes to see. We have the project north of Lake Mills, the road's open, and that's pretty well complete. And they've moved on to the bridge replacement project southwest of Thompson, F33 W1 bridge. Hopefully get that taken apart today or tomorrow, or definitely this week, and maybe a week and a half's worth of work to get that bridge replaced with the pipe.
How big is that one?
That one's a 84-inch diameter, 7 foot.
I went and looked at
That one's straight across, yeah. Yep, should be pretty simple. Not a lot of water flowing either, so. That one's about as easy as they get, hopefully. Depending on what they find for a bottom, sometimes that dictates as well.
So the bottom's not good enough, they haul in, fill
haul in some oversized stone.
Yeah.
Just the size kind of depends on how bad it is. But underneath that bridge, there's field rock and stuff, so I don't know what that's from, but I have the impression like it might be pretty hard under there. We'll see. That's really all I got.
We got letters from Grassley's office last night about the infrastructure bill.
Okay,
Did you get the same thing?
I don't think I've seen something like that.
I thought about forwarding it to you
Yeah,
last
I'll
night, but then I
forward it
thought,
to you.
well,
Usually our communication gets funneled through the Department of Transportation and through the RPA's
It
even.
sounds like they split it up into two categories. You got the projects that are over 100 million and the projects that are under 100 million.
Okay.
I'm guessing we're gonna be in the lower end of it competing. And they said you can go over a period of several years for a large project. And it's like $12 billion available. And the applications are due 22nd of July, I think, or something. So I didn't know if there was any projects we got coming up that qualified and ready to go.
Okay,
I thought it was I went through the list, and of who they sent it to, it was all supervisors. But it's not all the supervisors in the state.
That's whoever's on their mailing list.
And
I've been out there to see them, so.
somehow I got on their mailing list.
I don't know.
Wow.
well, forward it to me. Without looking at it, I imagine our projects are the most difficult to qualify for whatever they're trying to target.
When I was looking at it, what was my opinion of it? It was like, yeah, that this would be tough for the real rural. Unless we had all of our projects into one and fix all the roads at once.
Yeah, to this point, I haven't heard of anything that would substantially change our funding.
So have you heard anything about the routes? Rural opportunities, something, transportation, one of their acronyms, that's on there too.
Okay,
So if you go down far enough, you'll see the routes thing, which is rural infrastructure. It was pretty good statistics because it showed, get this forward, then I can look at it, but it showed that in the routes part of it, when you click on that, most of the accidents are in the rural areas. And that, a lot of people live in the urban areas, but all the miles of roads and bridges are in the rural areas, so. Yeah, it says 19% of Americans live in rural areas, but 68% of our nation's total lane miles are in rural areas. And urban areas, it's 1,052 lane miles per 100,000 residents. In rural areas, it's almost 10 times that.
yeah, that's why it's so hard to take care of it.
So there's some focus on it with this routes thing, so.
Okay,
Were the dollars way lower?
Well, I didn't say anything about dollars.
Oh.
I don't know, I haven't got to that part. There's a toolkit, rural EV, that's EV infrastructure toolkit. Maybe that's all it's about, is about the EV part.
I've been hoping for something to feel encouraged about out of that bill and coming up empty so far. So I'll give that a look and comb through that, see if there's anything we can take advantage of.
Yeah. You gotta try,
Yeah, absolutely.
and since it's kind of a short timeline for the other one, it might be worth looking into it just to see. Only thing is, I suppose you could hit the Davis-Bacon wages then, but if they're paying for most of it.
That's right. We know how to deal with it. I'll get a look at it.
Okay, that's something we need to forward to you
I did.
then? Oh, you just did?
Julie has joined.
Okay, well, let's go on to 3. Thanks, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Discussion and possible action regarding a non-compliant entrance permit on A44 in Forest Township Section 29. Deja vu.
So this item's back to the agenda. I received a emailed request from Mr. Lenning and forwarded on to you guys. I'll leave it up to you to ask questions or decide which way to go with it.
Is that in yours?
It's his,
That's yours.
his side of the road.
There's, yeah, my side of the road. But, you know where the blacktop goes north? It's just a quarter mile north, hardly that.
8 mile maybe,
8 mile, yeah.
just past the first place.
Yeah.
Like it did too.
What is the downside of having driveways close?
I don't think there's anything more than an eventual overpopulation of driveways, you know, kind of more of a grand scheme type of thing rather than a problem with this specific case.
You feel like you're setting a precedent at all then?
Well, we have a driveway policy that helps our staff kind of get through these things, and every exception makes it more nuanced. It's, I don't know, we've talked about that before, precedent, and it hasn't spiraled out of control or anything.
No.
I don't anticipate that there's gonna be a lot of new construction out in the countryside. It seems to be
A
going the
a
other way.
rash of
It
driveways.
is a nice area, he could start a development there if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Around that pond,
Yeah.
but we can't judge everything upon that.
It just means that every request like this will have to come to the board, and if you guys want to field all those, that's fine.
I think we've always felt like, you know, we want to be a part of that decision if it's beyond your guidelines.
Yeah.
I like the chance to be able to look at them one at a time and see
Yeah.
how it affects us.
You know, some have more merit than others.
I kind of wish he would have been a little more able to work with us along the way a little better, but he's busy too, so
Yeah,
never really fielded the calls.
well, I should have called him, so kind of blame it on, Scott gave this to me last fall or something like that, and I never called him. So,
It's been going on for a couple of years too.
yeah. Yeah, if he would have just submitted the request right away, it would have been an easier process. I disagree with the request. No, I think it's going to create economic activity and at some point, it sounds like he already wished it when he started, but it's something that got stuck on the back burner, like a lot of things have in the last 2 years.
It's hard to afford it.
So we have a possible action on this one.
Well, I'll make a motion to make a variance for a non-compliant entrance permit on A44 in Forest Township, Section 29.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Jen, and second by Kirby regarding the entrance permit on A44 in Forest Township, Section 29. All in favor?
Aye.
Here we go.
All right, thank you.
Put that to bed. And you.
Do you want to let them know, otherwise
Yeah,
I
who
can
notifies?
try to get hold of them too?
No, I'm calling.
Okay. You can tell him I'll just close out the permit and he's good to go.
All right.
Now, did he put in proper slopes then?
On the new one, not the old one.
But does the old one grandfather in, or because it's been there for so long?
I suppose.
Yeah.
But technically, when he said he was gonna take the other one out, it's almost like it's a permit for that one to be a new one. You know, might be good for him just to, you could ask him if he'd wanna slope the other one for safety reasons.
Yeah.
Is there a pipe underneath it?
I think so.
I can't remember. I looked at it, but
I think he's in the business that has access to supplies like that.
I think he
And
knows.
there's some gravel around there too.
I think he knows it. Yeah. I think he knows how to run equipment to be able to do it.
There was a dozer sitting there a long time, I know that.
I think there's an excavator sitting out there, isn't there?
Yeah, so I think he has the, just ask him.
Yeah.
Well, you might wanna improve the existing driveway.
It'll look
Then you have to
better.
get another permit for that, right?
Scott's like.
Usually we ask for permits anytime there's work in the right of way.
You're well aware of the situation.
Yeah,
Okay,
all right.
thank you.
Mhm.
Well, let's see if we can't go to, oh, let's go back to auditors. We never had a motion
Oh, on the transfers,
on the transfers.
did you get a chance to look at them then?
I have
I'll make a motion to approve the auditor's transfers.
I'll second.
motion by Derby, second by Jensvold to approve the auditor's transfers. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah.
11.
11. Hey, Chris, do you have time for us? Thank you.
Carla, did you get the updated email information for Scott Anderson? He sent me a text and I just clicked on share, but I don't know if it came from another email address. I couldn't find where I'd sent it, so.
Good morning.
Good morning. That I know of.
Okay. I'll show you the text message. I'll just take a little bit.
Anything for us today?
I met with Faribault County regarding DD 102, and we have, I think, 6 joint districts that we're going to work on to try to get an agreement together. Their way of doing classifications are a little different. We come up kind of with the same result. So Rick Hopper is going to work on getting those together and figuring out what outlet fees would be and coming up with it's probably 1 to 2 page agreement that we'll set up. So when I have more information, I will for sure get it to you guys. But that was nice to get together.
So that was with their drainage clerk?
It was with their drainage clerk. They have a drainage supervisor. They have 2 people who are employed to do, when we have somebody that's an uninterested party and helps out with classifications, that's their employment, is they are I forget the term that they're called, but they work for that. Their GIS person who puts everything in the computer. The auditor was there,
My
Rick
goodness.
Hopper and myself. I didn't realize all of those people would be there, but it was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice for Rick to be there to explain how we do it here. I explained how I would do drainage. It was a great conversation.
Hmm. What do you think the time frame is on that to pull it together?
It's going to be a couple months. It'll be a little bit because Rick will need to get with the Minnesota side to figure out the acres and everything in there, how it all relates to get, because I said, when I get a bill, I would, if we have 40% of the district, I would pay my 40%. I would send you the bill for your percentage. That way you know exactly what your billing is for your landlord or landowners. They usually, at the end of the year, they send out a bill to other counties. And they like the way we do it. I figure that would be
So
the
how
best
how
kind
are
of-
Rick's fees divided up on
It would
this?
be based on that
Same
percentage.
Same?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's already reclassified our side. It shouldn't take long.
Mhm. Okay.
Just getting the time to do it.
We're doing that on several districts.
We will end up doing all of them to make sure that because we have no agreements. So if we have 6 joint districts, it would be nice to have that agreement on each one.
If something's gonna come up sometime, we're gonna want it.
We have one already in DD 111 that Helgesons have called the Minnesota side because somebody on the Iowa side wants it done. So that will come up.
So this is probably a dumb question, but are they all on the border or do they come down farther?
Well, there
I
are,
mean,
the water's going north, so we're gonna outlet probably, it's all of them into Minnesota.
oh, okay.
So we have a fee for them and if they don't clean their side, it does no good to do our side. We had that issue with DD 102. We ended up cleaning it because it had to get done. But if they didn't do their side, it really didn't help us.
Right. Wow. Okay, is there anything else, Chris?
I don't.
Nope. All right.
All right, well, thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
All right. Can we do number 6? Is there enough time for that? Consider for approval amendment number 4 to the child support recovery contract.
So in summary of the 37 and 3/4 pages that he has in front of him.
Oh, it's more than that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't see the other half, your hand was hiding
You were
it.
close, it was 55.
55, well, you know, but your hand's so big, I can't.
So in the revisions, amendment to contract language, revision 1 is contract duration is being revised. That'll go from July 1, 2022 to June 30th of 2023. Revision 2, replace Exhibit A, confidential information, safeguarding provisions. Exhibit B, Internal Revenue Service, confidential information. Exhibit C, Social Security Administration, computer matching and Privacy Act. And then revision 3, where the claims are to be submitted to. And then revision 4 talks about combating human trafficking. Revision 5, federal funds, discussions of payments include federal funds, yes. Office of Child Support Enforcement, funded percentage, 66%. That's pretty much the gist of it.
Okay. And page 3?
That's the contract.
Just send this out
Revisions
as
were
an
made.
email.
If you want to know
What?
all of
Did you
that,
send this out as an email?
I don't remember.
I don't
I remember reading something about it for some reason.
I probably did because I usually send that
Yeah,
kind
I
of
think
stuff
it
out
was.
ahead of time.
So,
it's one of those that wasn't really, it was just a scanned image and, yeah.
so what actually is amendment number 4? Is there something that's
That
specific?
whole thing is amendment number 4.
Is that the whole thing?
Yeah, just those things I just identified.
Where did this come? Where did it come from?
We're part of a child support recovery unit. We're like 7 counties
Charles City is where it's,
out of right now. We used to like rotate it. It used to come through each of our counties, but they got tired of getting different insurance every 3 years, so they've just kept it in one county now.
Okay.
So
So really the changes are just kind of some housekeeping kinds of
yeah,
stuff. So it just needs to be signed by me and our county attorney.
Yes.
Has she reviewed it yet?
I would assume that Melissa sent it to her as well.
Is it something that we should wait until,
No, because I'll take it up there next and have her sign it, and I'm guessing that she won't sign it without reviewing it, so.
so it's okay if I sign it without reviewing it, but not
Yes.
her? She'll know way more.
Another part to review is on the first pages, so.
Right. So it's really just looks like.
Well, I emailed it out last week, so.
Yeah, I read through it and I didn't see anything that I was pretty sure that this was,
Just an updating thing.
So do we have a,
I'll make a motion to approve amendment number 4 to the child support recovery contract.
second.
all right, motion by Derby, second Jensvold to approve amendment number 4, child support recovery contract. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Does this add any additional expenses to us?
No. We've been doing this for many, many, many years, and it's just a continuation of what we've been doing.
And the actual single county thing has been for the last, we changed that, what, 5, 6 years ago?
That's probably been,
Has it been longer than that?
So I used to be on that committee. And then they,
when I first was in the office, we had it. And then ever since, after that, it went to Floyd County, a few years after that, and it's been with Floyd County ever since.
when I served maybe 1 or 2 years, 12 years ago on, and then it went to a regional thing. Or it saved us money then. They pared it back.
So the other signatures that have to go on here eventually are Floyd and, Floyd County and,
I imagine they're all
Franklin.
signing their own
yeah.
Yeah,
consent.
Okay. Number 7, consider for approval agreement with Central Iowa Tourism Region.
this is also something we've been doing for a long time, and I didn't know if you wanted to continue doing this.
That was in our budget over the years through Winworth Petco. We're a member of the Central Iowa Tourism, and I suppose with the new state auditors requirements.
So, and we pay our own, this doesn't go through Winworth Betco.
Okay,
That's what I didn't understand about it.
we should try to get that straightened out then. I'm sure she doesn't pay one too for,
She does pay one too, that's what I didn't understand.
Oh,
I didn't know we were a member, I knew we were through that.
Yeah, we pay our own, we pay $500 and she pays like $250.
Well, that's because of the 2 counties probably. She pays $500, well, or does it just?
No, it comes through us, comes through the county, and then she pays through Winworth Betco, she pays $250.
so you're thinking we might be double dipping there somehow or something, that we need to figure that out.
Yes,
Should eliminate one of them.
I just remember going to
Probably
it
more expensive.
one
the
time.
question, that's my
I
question.
just remember going to it one time when we had to identify the representatives.
When's our next meeting?
Huh?
When's our next meeting with Melissa? It's coming up. Isn't it?
So here's the other question, it's supposed to be paid July, and it wasn't paid this year, so she wants it paid like right away here in June, because she wants to charge the skin in July.
So they didn't bill us earlier, or?
Mm-mm.
I support it. Should we?
Thank you.
need to go over it?
So no, we've never had to do this before. Is it because of the state auditor we have to do it this way? Okay.
And I'm not really even sure that that is enough to cover what the state auditor wants, but
So should we table this
Because it's
until we
not a
get?
28E, but is Central Iowa Tourism, what type of entity are?
I
wonder
haven't
if they're
talked to Kelsey about this
Yeah,
yet.
I wonder if they're an acceptable,
I have not had time this week to do this, so
What benefit do we get out of this?
no, it's a collaboration for tourism. I know we do. I've been to some of their meetings, so.
Which I thought that was all going through Winnebago.
Well, that's what we gotta figure out. Can we wait until next week on this one and find out?
I would be happy to table this.
I'm thinking table it, talk to Melissa,
Yeah.
see, get more information, and then we'll know what's going
I
on.
know we need a membership somehow, whether it's through Winworth Go or through
Yeah.
county.
So specifically, what do they do? Print flyers and
So there's
Tell you to come here?
3 regional tourism in Iowa. There's the eastern and the western and the central. We're in the central Iowa tourism. They have meetings to get together and go over what some of the new funding opportunities are for tourism, what some of the focus is on tourism, and to help all the cities and counties to get a better advantage on tourism.
Want to read it?
Yeah, you can give them what they're saying.
It's Winnebago County an annual Central Iowa travel guide, including the county's attractions. They have a travel guide, including trails, golf courses, county and state campgrounds. Then it promotes Winnebago County tourism opportunities in response for requests for information that people ask.
So most of that is their publications will be included in this.
Mhm. Provide education and professional development opportunities, including seminars, webinars, and other training. Special projects, booth at the Iowa State Fair. Technical assistance and training for organizations located in Winnebago County. Career development, mentoring. And that Winnebago County may appoint 2 representatives to represent the county in this region. So,
I'm not gonna just table it for now until we find out.
absolutely, yep.
so there's no electronic advertising, no newsprint advertising, just here's a brochure and everybody, let me tell you how to promote your county.
Doesn't say anything about electronic on that page, but
There's printed books.
yeah.
And
It's
where-
right there.
Where, and these books are, where do we find these books?
No, they're for sure at the welcome centers, and they are at the chamber office probably, and anywhere they.
I have
just
seen
hotels,
them
I've
out and about, hotels and.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
People
well,
who
let's,
travel, where they go,
Just curious, because I mean, is it hitting where you need it to hit for people? to
it
come
might
here
be
to
at the
tour?
wit center, I don't know,
Okay.
I don't go there much.
Forest City, the Heritage Park of North Iowa, the Mansion Museum, Winnebago County Veteran Monument, Winnebago Industries Visitor Center.
Which is in another county.
Yes, it is.
all right, well,
No
we're past
mention.
our 9:30
no
here.
mention
But it's
for-
listed under us.
No mention of the Raging Buffalo Center Creek or anything like that?
Well, the Whitewater, yes, no, but that's under the Buffalo Center end of it.
Oh.
See, it's here under Buffalo Center, let's, you can read the
Don't
Whitewater.
Don't encourage him.
Uh,
All right, guess what? We're past our 9:30 with Gary. Welcome, Gary.
Morning.
Discuss with possible action the public health building fees, land surveys, and other details.
Well, first of all, thank you for selecting us. We're excited to do the project. I don't know if you know Tom Knowlton from my office is a drafter. He lives here in Forest City. And so I was planning on utilizing him quite a bit to do some of this legwork up front. But one of the things that Carla and I have been talking about is just in order to get this kind of going, the big question is, do you know exactly the location and what we call the program of things? And I know Carla sent me a list of several items. So in order for me to give you a fee, the question is really, what are we doing? and it's kind of hard to judge then what is all incorporated into that. By that, I mean, a site survey needs to be done, soil borings, which would be drilling down to test the soil conditions to make sure we understand the bearing pressures or if there's any rubble on there or whatever. That's two components before you get into a lot of design that have to be done. Then afterwards, there's construction staking, which is where the points of the building are, or the grade for the pavement, where that's going to be done, and also testing then of concrete and soil bearing pressure. So normally those are things that are outside of my fee. Typically they're done, they can be contracted with the county and those entities directly, or I can organize it and then I just run it through my office as a reimbursable expense with the markup. So I kind of need to know what your thoughts are on that. And then another part of this is something that I noticed from the list that Carla sent was going into the existing building, if you want to start looking at air quality conditions, which is something right now that is really being studied. There's an organization called ASHRAE that has multiple departments, schools, nursing homes, hospitals, businesses that are trying to see how much fresh air should be coming into the buildings. What's the new quality of standards? And I don't know when that's going to happen, but in order to know what you have now versus what could be done, I'd have to get a mechanical engineer in and take a look at things, understand, come up with a concept as to say, yes, you can do it with this little device, or no, we need to set something out on the ground that's going to double the electrical needs, which can happen in certain situations. And so I don't know then, again, how do I judge what the fee is based on some unknown conditions. Normally, we do a lot of these projects as a percentage of construction cost. And by that, you've got the contractor bill, and then I get a percentage of that. And I pay structural engineer, mechanical, electrical engineer, civil engineer for all their design work in my time. Project this size, we've been doing a lot of it for 9%, just to give you an idea of where that's at. If you start to say, put these other things in, under my umbrella, then I just have to raise that cost and I have to figure out, that percentage, I have to figure out what that cost could be. Another way we can do it is a lump sum. And again, in order for me to do that, I would need to know exactly what we're doing, go to each one of my consultants, get them to understand what they need to do, and then have them come together with the price. And so that's why I kind of wanted to just kind of go through what the different components are to see where you're at with the project. Because we could start with a study, for instance, if you wanted to, which again, as long as I know what it is, I could give you an idea of what that would be. And it might be something, for instance, we wouldn't have to do a survey right away. You probably have, you have some boundary information, you had that kind of sitting down with Carla and the public health. I can't remember the administrators. Julie, yeah.
She's on the phone too.
Oh, okay, great. Hi, Julie. Going through that program a little bit more, seeing what you need. We could come up with a plan concept, come up with a parking concept for you to see how it fits in there, make sure it's what you want to do, and then evaluate the existing building. That can be then a separate fee, and once we know what we're doing, perhaps some of that fee would roll over into the actual design because we're kind of doing some of that up front anyhow. So hypothetically, I'm just going to throw a number out there. If that's a $10,000 to $15,000 fee, for instance, maybe a third of that could go into the actual project design fee that we end up. I don't know for sure. I'm just tossing that out there, right now. But before we even do any kind of official contract, if you want to have kind of a study done, I just put together a simple letter outlining what we're doing and how that's to happen.
At one point, we were looking at another parcel adjacent to this, a possibility, but now we found out it is not a possibility, so. But then in the meantime, there's another building that came up that's oversized that could be a possibility. Sounds like their project's falling through, so.
Okay.
We got to decide if we want to invest in a larger building and sublet, or if it's probably close to 2 times more than we need. But it's got a new roof.
what is the price of the bigger building compared
I just know
to?
what they have in the road. They have 400,000 in the road.
And addition down here, we're thinking 800,000, was that?
Wow. You
Yeah.
would think we could probably do that for,
It depends on what your list is.
Yeah.
You know, again, if the building footprint gets smaller,